On this episode of Travelogue, come with us to experience the beauty of Daocheng. We'll get our hands dirty helping the locals and check out the old home of one of Cam's most mysterious families. We'll get a taste of the unique culture in Xiangcheng, watch llamas in a heated debate, and visit an ancient lamassery built inside a cave in the mountains. So sit back and enjoy the next exciting 30 minutes.
Hi and welcome to Travelogue. I'm Taran, and after visiting sacred snow-capped mountains, we're now on our way through Daocheng, where we'll experience the harmony between nature, religion and the traditional way of Tibetan life. We'll pass through Xiangcheng and its scattered white brick houses and finally arrive at Derong on the border between Sichuan and Yunnan. Let's get back on the road.
Although we've already found Joseph Rock's Shangri-La, we still haven't finished our travels. Our route back from Ruwa passes by the spectacular Masyong Valley with its multicoloured forests. And I've been told that come spring, the landscape changes to seas of rhododendrons covering the mountainsides. Our destination today is Daocheng, where most people stop off before continuing on to Ruwa and the Yading Nature Reserve. Daocheng's actually a 3-hour drive from Ruwa, so be sure to make your return journey during the day, lest you miss out on the amazing views. After driving across countless plateaus and 4,000 metre high mountains, we finally reached Daocheng, where the order of the day was to find accommodation.
It's a really wonderful afternoon, and after looking through a lot of hotels and hostels, I decided on this one because it's got a really nice family feel to it, and sitting here in this courtyard with the sun on my face, it feels really, really relaxing. And what's really nice is that it's got such a nice family feel, and everyone's kind of sitting outside playing cards and drinking tea. It's really relaxing.
The owners of the hostel actually live in the room next to mine, so it was an added bonus that I could pop in for a chat when they were free. The main attraction for me was the hostel's traditional Tibetan architecture, complete with slanted stone walls and decorated square windows. Most guest houses in Daocheng follow this style, and there are plenty to take your pick from.
Alright guys, this is my room. I'm staying in this really nicely decorated Tibetan style dorm, and it's actually quite cheap. It's around 30 RMB for one bed.
The next morning, we struggled out of bed at 5 AM as we'd heard the sunrise over Sula village is one of Daocheng's most unmissable events.
If you want to get a real taste of Tibetan life, you have to get up early in the morning, and you'll see the locals milk their yaks, send them out to graze, and then collect the yak pats as well. Yeah.
Though it's not the most pleasant thing to look at, yak dung is very important for Tibetans. It's used as fuel for their fires, allowing them to cook, boil water and keep warm.
So she's now separating out this huge pile of yak pat, and I've got my brick of dried yak pat at the ready, and once she's finished I'm going to start flattening them as well. It feels really weird, but it's actually really clean, and there's no nasty smell or anything. It's hard work. And to think, this one lady, she collects all of the yak pat in that basket of hers, and she brings it here and starts patting it all by herself. It's really not mud. I've got less on this hand, but it actually doesn't smell too bad.
Seeing my diligence, my new friend invited me to join her for butter tea with her family. Villagers here are very welcoming and will often invite people to their homes. Moving on, our next stop lies at the old residence of a very interesting family.
The locals tell me that that huge poplar tree over there was the first poplar tree in Daocheng, and that all the other poplar trees you see around you are the seeds of this one. Let's go look.
Folklore says the founder of the family here was a living Buddha. After returning from his spiritual wanderings, he planted his walking stick made of poplar into the soil. From this grew a huge poplar tree, the first in Daocheng and the mother of all the poplars here. The family that lived here is something of a miracle in the Kam region. For over 700 years, each of its 20 generations had a living Buddha reincarnated into the clan. Not only that, they even had living Buddhas of two opposing sects living peacefully here. As such, you can find two prayer rooms inside this house, one for the Yellow Hat sect and one for the Stripe sect. The family still has living Buddhas to this day, but they've now vacated this house in order to turn it into a family museum.
I found this old Buddhist sutra tablet lying around, and I don't know how old this is, but just feeling all the rivets and the lettering, it feels incredible. It's like I've found some kind of old treasure, and I can just imagine how many centuries, how many generations worth of living Buddhas might have read the same sutra as well.
The best form of transport here in Daocheng is actually a bicycle, and I've rented one for a day for around 20 RMB, and I'm going to go see the sights around the town. Even though I'm at quite high altitude, this bicycle ride is really, really relaxing. I've got the sun shining on my right side of my face, I've got the mountains, and I've got the golden trees to the left of me. It's really, really, really calming and relaxing here. As fun as it is to cruise around on your bike, do remember to take it slow, as the air here is still quite thin. Regardless, if the exercise doesn't take your breath away, I'm sure the scenery definitely will.
I've cycled for 1.5 hours, and I finally reached the Bampu Lamasery, which is the biggest here in Daocheng and belongs to the Kagyupa sect, the white sect. Let's go inside.
Almost everyone in Daocheng follows Buddhism, and there are several lamaseries here within easy reach. However, I've come to Bangpo Lamasery, as I've yet to visit one belonging to the white sect. This establishment was built towards the end of the 12th century, and is purportedly the oldest lamasery in Daocheng.
One of the most important reasons for people visiting the Bampu Lamasery is the statue of the founder of the white sect that he created with his own hands. Remember, when you're visiting, you must take off your shoes.
This statue is of the Karmapa Dusum Khenpa, one of the founders of the Kagyu sect. There are in fact 4 main schools of Tibetan Buddhism, traditionally distinguished by the colour worn by their followers. As such, the Kagyu sect is also known as the White Sect for the white robe their founder wore while meditating. This group is particularly mysterious, as its teachings are passed down orally so the relationship between teacher and student is highly stressed. But that's not all. I've been told this lamassery holds something else that's also very dear to its followers.
Legend has it that the first Karmapa wrote some words onto the rocks above, and we're going to go and climb and see if we can decipher them. 来，咱们走吧。爬上，你先走，你先走，我不知道路。
Few people have actually climbed up to read the Karmapa's words, and fewer have understood them as they're written in old Tibetan script. However, I wanted to see for myself what was written there, and see if my guide could make heads or tails of them.
这曾经肯定是那个地方打坐过，修行过。
对，
修行了过后，他有过感悟，他现在马上有可能要走了，但是只要你们按照他说过的话去修行，那么就你们看到他这写的字过后，就像他看到他的真身一样。
哦，这个意思。
这大概是这样意思。
哦，那这底下还写了一些东西哈。这底下是。
Legends say that Dusum Khyentse ceased his religious wanderings here. With the blood from his own nose, he wrote onto the rocks above that he travelled all across the Kham region, and that this place was the most beautiful. Although I couldn't find those words in the end, all you have to do is look around you, and you'll also find yourself slowly falling in love with Dalchung's beauty. There's a saying here, come to Sula to see the sun rise, and go to Bung River to see the sun set. And what better way is there to finish off the day's sightseeing than by visiting a natural hot spring?
I've had a very long day's worth of cycling around, and I'm going to treat myself to this Rubuchaka hot spring, which is around a 20-minute ride outside of town. I'll see you in a bit.
It may not look like it, but the water here supplies every single household in Dalchong. There are many family-run bathhouses in Rubuchaka,